This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the Matador GlobeRider45, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. If you find this video helpful, make sure you subscribe so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. Let's dive in. So as you can see from the start, we have quite a few different materials on this pack. So I'm just going to reference my notes real quick so I make sure I cover them all correctly. We've got 420T blue sign nylon, 420D blue sign recycled nylon, and 100D blue sign nylon ripstop. So all different kinds of nylon, but they're all blue sign approved, which is great from a sustainability perspective. We're seeing a lot more companies do that, and it's a great shout from Matador in our opinion. These all also have a PU coating on them, which makes them a bit more water resistant, and that is also aided by the zippers, which are from YKK and the hardware's from YKK too, but all of the zipper tracks have this PU coating or AquaGuard finish on them, which helps just keep it a little bit more water resistant, keep water from entering your pack. But something to note is that this main compartment zipper, I'll talk about this first because it is actually pretty hard to get this underneath here. So we have these little security, I don't even know what you'd really call them, but so you can put the zipper pulls underneath there, so it's harder for someone to get inside your pack. It's obviously not foolproof. Someone can get in there if they want to, but it's a bit harder to have someone get inside your pack. So I'll show you that now when I try and get it undone. It's definitely not quick. So if you need to get something quickly, it's not the best shout. But if someone is trying to get in your bag that you don't want to get in your bag, you see that took me quite a bit of time. But now talking back about the zipper track, that this is a pretty beefy YKK zipper, and the added PU coating or AquaGuard finish just makes it a bit slow, especially around these 90-degree corners. Just not the fastest thing in the world, but I mean, you're not gonna be getting in and out of the main compartment a ton. When you're in your hotel, you could just leave it open. But we have this daisy chain here on the side. We've got different loops where you can attach gear with a carabiner or a strap. And then there's this handle in between. There's more daisy chain down here. So you have a handle on either side to grab it. Then we also have these handles on the top and bottom, which makes it easy to grab from wherever you have it stowed on the airplane or wherever. And they're a bit padded too, so they're fairly comfortable, which we dig. Flipping it on the side here, we have one water bottle pocket. I've just got my 32-ounce Nalgene in there, which fits without an issue. You can see there's even room up higher if you wanted to put a taller bottle. We have that little tab right here too that you can pull to access your bottle easier, which I dig because especially with these elastic, it can be kind of hard to get to your stuff sometimes. And then on both sides, we have these compression straps, so that way you can kind of secure down the pack to fit whatever it is you have inside of it. And we have this neat little straps here too that you can attach a carabiner to attach gear if you wanted to. So on the back panel and shoulder straps here, we have a lot of padding, but it's a very stiff padding, and I actually like that. So if you're taking like a short trip, typically, at least me personally, I like the smushy mesh that maybe isn't so firm. But when you're gonna be wearing a backpack for an extended period of time, I like this harder, kind of more like you're expecting to see on a hiking pack. And we also, I'll bring it a little bit closer, have some nice mesh on the exterior there, which is good for aeration and getting some air moving through the pack. It is gonna get warm. This thing is a big bag, but it does a pretty good job at breathing in my opinion. Moving to the shoulder straps here, you can see we have this nice little curve here, which helps it kind of conform to your body. Depending on your body type, it'll fit better or worse, but overall very comfortable in my opinion. We've got a sternum strap here that's on a rail, so that way you can make micro adjustments to it. And once it's in place, I haven't had any issues with it, like getting, moving from where you have it, so it's gonna stay where you want it to stay. And then we've got a nice amply padded hip belt here as well. It's not removable, but both these are, the hip belt and the shoulder straps are stowable. So I've got the zipper undone right now. And as you can see here, we've got this little arrow on here. And then under the, let me find it real quick. Right here, we've got another little arrow. So you're supposed to attach this to here and then stow them under this zipper. But I found it's easier to just stow one and then stow the other and zip it back up. But that actually takes quite a bit of time, so I'm not gonna show you exactly how to do that. But it's nice for when you wanna use this as a carry-on, it's not in the way. So as you can see, this pack does ride a little bit high, and I don't know if maybe it's just not what I'm used to, but it kind of feels like a backpacking backpack to me, like I'm about to go for a hike. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, it just rides a bit higher than I'm used to. Like if I put my head back, I can kind of feel the backpack there. And as I said, that's not necessarily a bad thing, and I do find this pack to be very comfortable. Like, I think that the sternum strap and the hip belt do a really good job of dispersing weight. We've also got the load lifters up here up top to kind of shift the weight around too, but it's just a little bit different than what I'm used to. And if you don't like that feeling of kind of like being hugged and also like having the weight be up a bit higher, you might not like how this feels, but overall I do find this pack very comfortable. So moving into secondary compartments, we're actually going to start on the back panel here under this flap that the shoulder strap and hip belt gets stowed underneath. There's a hidden pocket back here, which I think is a really ingenious design to slide this back here, because it's just really hidden and you also know where it is at all times. This is like a perfect little pocket. You could slip your passport in here. If you have a smaller phone, that would fit in here as well. You might feel that a little bit through the padding, but it's just a good place to lock something down that you really want to ensure is safe, because you obviously have that zipper closed, and then you have this zipper up here closed as well, and you might even have, you know, your shoulder strap and hip belt stowed in there. So it's just a really great place to hide something that you want to ensure is safe. As long as you have your pack, you're going to have whatever is in there. But flipping back over here, the next pocket we're going to go over, we have this zippered pocket up here, which I forgot to close. Let me close that up real quick. But it's just a small zippered pocket, and it's actually a good place for like a wallet. I don't have my wallet in there right now. I actually don't even have anything in there right now, but I'll put my hand in there so you can see how big it is. So it goes to about right here. So depending on the size of your wallet, it'll fit in there pretty nicely. If you have a smaller phone, again, you could slide that in there. And then if you do have something valuable like that stowed in this pocket, when you zip it up, you can put the zipper pull underneath that little locking mechanism again, just like we went over a little bit earlier. So this is a nice, just kind of quick access pocket, because there is another larger quick access pocket, but you can fit a bunch more gear in there. So if you just want to stow one thing in here and you're always going to know where it is, even like a snack or something, it's a good spot for that. We're going to flip to the front side here. Between the daisy chains and handles, we have this stretchy mesh pocket. And I really dig this because without it, this front part would feel kind of useless and like wasted space. It's a good spot because of this mesh. It's a bit more breezy and airy, and there's no topper on it, so no zipper or anything, so there's a lot of air getting in there as well. So I just have a packable jacket stowed in there right now. You could, in theory, if you're traveling with the family, you could put everybody's packable jacket in here, and then if you get caught in the rain and then the sun comes out again, you could slide your jackets in here, and because it's a bit more airy, it's not going to get, you know, stinky or anything like that. It's dirty and it'll dry at least a little bit quicker. You could stow an umbrella in here, or really anything that might get wet or not get wet. You know, you could shove just about anything in here because it does have quite a bit, let me shift this around, quite a bit of pull to it. So you can shove pretty large items in there. If you have a sweatshirt or something like that you want for the airport, just shove it in there and then you're ready to go. I'm going to go over the quick access pocket that I briefly mentioned earlier. We've got another YKK AquaGuard zipper up here. This one kind of just folds down like this. So there's actually a little bit more room than initially meets the eye. Sorry about the beeping out there. I think someone is getting a package. But this actually goes down to about right here. So depending on how much gear you have stowed in this main compartment, you can fit actually quite a bit of gear in here. I was surprised that I was able to fit, like my over-ear headphones fit inside of here. You could even probably fit, if this is dry, put your packable jacket in here. If you want quick access to your jacket, you can really fit quite a bit of gear in here because it does have that depth. But as far as organization goes, we've got two different kinds of stretchy mesh material here. This one's a bit more, I mean, it's still pretty stretchy, but it's just a bit more, I don't know what the word is, it's not as malleable. And then we have that same material from the front over on this side. I've just got my wallet stowed over here right now. And this is a good place for smaller bits and bobs that you want access to, but you don't necessarily need all the time to keep in your pocket or the other quick access pocket. And then we've got two zippered compartments. These are the same, except this one has a key ring. Let me find it real quick. You're not gonna be able to like open the door with this without taking off the key ring, but the plastic end is easy to manipulate, so you can quickly grab your keys and get ready to go. But overall, happy with the secondary compartments on this thing. Everything kind of has a home if you want a home. If you're someone who doesn't love being told where to put your gear, it might not work for you, but overall, very happy with it. So now we're gonna move into the main compartment. And there are two zippers on this main compartment, so you can leave them on whichever side you want, the top or the bottom. But I think it's worth noting that there is no little security tab on this bottom side, so if you were to leave both the zippers down here, you wouldn't be able to do that. So I typically left them at the top, and then one of the zippers was always behind the security tab, and then I could just throw the other one in when I wanted to use it. But this is a clamshell opening, so you really have full access to all of your gear. Starting, I forgot to zip these up as well. I'm just being negligent all over the place today. But on this left side here, we have two different zippered compartments. So this one is quite a bit larger and just utilizes this liner material. So I've actually this is a good place to stow a pair of shoes. In the Matador video that they sent us when we got this pre-copy, they stowed a pair of boots in here, and as you can see, you really can fit quite a bit of shoe in here or whatever you want to stow. So this is just a pair of Danner shoes, and they fit in there very easily. Those are new. If they weren't new, I might put them in like a recyclable grocery bag or something like that. But quite a bit of space here to stuff inside here. So if you are to put shoes here, I think it's important to note that this is the front flap. So typically you want to have your heaviest items, closer to your back for comfort reasons. But I didn't notice it really that there was something heavy on the outside of the pack when I walked with shoes in there. But I don't know if it's something I would want to do like all day long. But being able to basically have a shoe compartment in this pack, or you could use it for whatever you wanted, but is a nice inclusion if you ask me. You zip that back up. And then up here, we've just got a nice mesh pocket. So it's a little bit more airy, so it's not as, I don't want to say watertight because this isn't watertight, but I think you know what I mean. And I've just got a Eagle Creek, I think it's technically a packing cube, but it's about the size of what I would use as a toiletry pouch. So this is a good place for toiletries because it does have that a little bit more airy material, so it's not going to get gross if water's inside of here. So this is a good, depending on how many toiletries you like to bring, this is a good spot for your toiletries because it's still pretty quick to access. Should you need to get it out, you can just open the top of the pack, open this up, take out your 311 pouch for TSA security, and then put it back in. It's fairly quick. I just dig that we have both those options, the liner material and then the stretchy mesh up here. On the spine here, we have two different pockets that run along the spine. That same stretchy mesh material again. So, it's good not necessarily for wet things here, but for oddball things, like let's say you have a belt or different accessories for your clothing, you can throw those inside here. I'm not really a person who has a lot of accessories, so these weren't super helpful to me, and I didn't use them a ton, but I think they're handy because if you were to go on a trip to Europe or something like that, and you bought a bunch of small knickknacks for your family and friends, you could throw those in here, and you know where they are, and they're not floating around in the main compartment getting in the way. So just big, long, zippered compartments, and you've got that nice, stretchy material to help you out when it comes to just stowing your gear away. You've got two of those there. And then the rest of this main compartment area is pretty much open space. It is secured by this shock cord here. You can see that it's very stretchy, so no matter how much stuff you have in here, you're not gonna be able to put that much gear inside of here. But that's nice to kind of keep things in place. Even if you do use packing cubes, they can kind of get jumbled up and things can slide around, and this kind of enables that to not happen. I will say that when you are trying to do the cord, this little tab can kind of fall down and then you have to find it. Not the end of the world, you can just grab it and secure it and you're ready to go. So I'm going to pull those out real quick. We got a big old Eagle Creek packing cube. Then we use these in a lot of our videos. If you've watched more videos, you've probably seen these Heim Planet ones before. And there was quite a bit of room to spare, but the rest of this area is just open, and whatever you want to use it for, you can use it for. And I'll just secure this really quick. And you have a little adjuster up here on the top, so you can make that less tight if you want to, which I think is a nice, thoughtful feature, so that way it's not always loose. This here is the laptop compartment, which is actually accessible from the outside here. I should have mentioned this a little bit earlier, but you can fit up to it. This is a 15-inch MacBook, fits inside there, no worries. And just kind of odd that it is like right here. I kind of wish it was attached. Like you can stick your hand underneath here. Obviously I can't really get my hand in there right now because of the laptop inside there, but little bits and bobs could find their way inside of there. Obviously because the backpack stands up this way, things are just going to fall out if you were to do that. But just a little odd to me that that is an option. I guess you could stow documents back there, but again, they could just fall out and then get crumpled in the bottom of the pack. But overall, very happy with how this pack operates and all of the different organizational features, because you don't have to necessarily put anything anywhere, but you do have that option if you want to. So there you have it, the Matador GlobeRider45. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.